Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And look at this dog trampled. I mean, in Italian they say hanno rovinato. So the pigs, wild pigs, come in the night from the beautiful Italian forest, and they're looking for bulbs, little bulbs under the ground, and they dig with their mouth and they just make a mess. Okay, so now it has been raining and the soil was soft and they were doing this, and now I have to level this back off. This is my first chore for today in the farming maintenance, farming lifestyle. In this little video here, I want to talk to you about hidden potentials. I want to talk to you about how hidden potentials exist all around us, and how you can use this to tap into your own personal hidden potentials with a S, plural. Now, hidden potential doesn't necessarily mean one potential, but I am just really exaggerating here because I want to drive home a point. So you are poor, okay? You are poor, okay, because you don't know this. When I found this out about my own life in this, on this beautiful fourth generational Italian olive farm, okay, then that was the beginning of the end for me in working for people, working for others. I found out my potentials. The reason I'm using plural to this, if it exists, if it doesn't, I invented it, is because God didn't give man, no man, one gift, and one gift inside of one gift or one talent, what you want to call it, gift slash talent, it entails a well of potential, a deep well of potential. So God didn't give any one person on this planet in the past and now in the present and will in the future when people are being born, one gift or one talent. Okay, people have, they did a research, I said it in other videos, that the average human being has over 500 gifts, talents. Okay, but people are poor because they don't know this. In this video, I'm going to take off my shades and I'm going to explain, expand and expound on the hidden potential that that exists all around us, and you, without exception, have many hidden talents and gifts, and in those talents and gifts, okay, you have to research, and once you find them, the thing that you gravitate to easily the most, like in my case, I gravitate to speaking. I speak naturally. I love the things of God, and I love change. I love transformation. That's what my life is about. Okay, my life is a testament and testimony of change. Okay, I had to change my own life. I keep changing my own life. Change is perpetual. Okay, change, the only thing that doesn't change is change itself. Okay, so everything else is changing, and we are a part and by product of everything else. The time, space and matter. Okay, and we know that matter cannot be created or destroyed, but only change from one form or one state to another. Example, you can change water when it heats its boiling point and change it into vapor. Okay, so that's an example, basic 101 science from elementary school I'm giving you. Your hidden potential is something that will relieve you from the obscurities of your life, being unknown, unseen. The Bible says that a man's gifts will put him before kings. This simply means that you will be recognized by the highest order of the day in where you live or reside. When you present yourself, when you show up, you're not going to present yourself to the king or to the leader of a nation. That's what this means. It means that when you show up consistently, with like how I am showing up on a video camera every day, okay, and I go and edit and I refine and optimize the video and I upload it to the internet, I am showing up. When people find this will bring me before kings. People will see the use of this. It could be people in governmental positions, It could be people in the church position. It could be people that are running a youth training program. It could be people in a prison, institutional type program setting that want to really help their people to change. The people will see this from somewhere, and when they see this, they will call upon you. It's because they have recognized and resonated with the message you're bringing through your gifts and your talent, which was once your hidden potential in my case. So your hidden potential has to be searched for. I am a farmer every day. I am here in my old rough and tough Suzuki, and I can tell you one thing, that when I am on a farm, this big fourth generational Italian olive farm, I have to be paying attention to detail. For example, this is a cedar tree. I have pruned it 1,000,000 times, like all other plants, okay? I am the husbandman here. I know the potential of this tree. Okay, I planted this tree, I keep pruning this tree, it needs pruning right now, and this tree looks empty when it just meets the eye. But I know as the farmer that this tree is not empty. I know the tree intimately. I know each tree here intimately. I know all the sum total and collection of trees here intimately, because I prune and clean around every one of them. And in the olive season, when the olives are ripe and mature, I beat these trees and make sure that I get the olives and run it through the olive making process and making the extra Italian virgin olive oil. So I have to pay attention constantly when I am here, according to the discovery or for the discovery, looking to see if the potential or if the fruits that the trees are yielding in the time that it should be bearing fruit is yielding its potential, or it's beneath its potential yield. I pay attention. This tree looks empty, but when you go around, you start seeing cedars all over the place. And when you find a cedar in itself has many seeds in which there are exponentially the potential for planting more cedar trees. Okay, and you go around and you will find cedars in hidden places that you didn't even think or dream of. It is the same thing with the human being. Now, potential has to be developed. When I look intently into this tree, at first glance, the tree looked empty, especially to an inexperienced observer, a non-farming person, so to speak. They would just pass this tree and say, hey, this tree is empty. Me, that I have the experience and intimate relationship, and I am basically the creator of this tree, I know exactly where to look. I know how it bears and how it yields. Herein lies a lot of potential, but the potential is somewhat green. The potential needs time, not only to be discovered, but it needs time to mature, and it needs time to be retrieved and to be used into the world, to bring nutrients to someone or a collection, an audience of people's lives. So when I keep looking more and more in-depthly into this tree, it's like using a poor analogy to looking into myself. I am this tree. Jesus says people are like trees. You will know a tree by the fruits that they bear. I know this is a cedar tree. I know the potential of this cedar tree. I know when the cedar tree is bearing, and I know the process of this tree. I look for the yield of this tree. Now, this is a cedar, but I will never get the cedar because the potential is not maximized. The potential in here still has room for growth, so that it could be used properly, like this one down here, to make certain food items out of cedar. Okay, so I would never tap into this potential. You have to know how and when to tap into your potential. Tapping into your potential is hard at the onset if you don't know what is your potential or what are your potential / gift talents. Once you know it, the other element to this is knowing when. If you tap into your potential in an untimely way, that means you are out of the season for which you should be bearing fruits. This tree does not bear, no tree does not bear fruit out of their season. They stand there all year round and they bear in their due season. So you as a tree, like I said, Jesus told us that you will know a tree by its fruits, okay? You will know a tree by its fruits because trees, us, bear fruits in various seasons, and we bear those fruits exponentially according to the innate potential that God has endowed us when He created us in His image and likeness. So the perfect timing must be discovered for you, and that needs to be discovered when you are in connection with the divine. If you try to do this mission or this undertaking alone and solely by yourself, you will make grave errors. I can tell you from experience, life experiences, that I've made great errors, not only in discovering my full potential, like speaking here into this camera, which is my number one potential, accompanied by leadership and guidance and inspiration and motivating people. I say this from a humble perspective, not boasting, but let my boast be in Christ. I know myself. A tree knows itself. An olive tree will never bear olives in June, in the month of June. Okay, a cedar tree will never bear cedars in the month of April. Okay, so I am the husbandman, I am the farmer. I know I sustain these trees, and I know I tend to them, and I, in my capacity, I am like the creator in this analogy of this place. I am the caretaker, the maintainer, the sustainer. It's the same thing with God for our lives. God is the creator and the creator and the sustainer for our lives. So we have to check Him in order to know when is our due season to bear fruits. And we have to check Him to know what undertakings to take in life so that we bear the right fruits. You see, a man, unlike a tree, has the power of free will and choice. And you can go and do anything in the world. You can become good at the wrong thing. There's a little saying that says, be careful what you become when pursuing what you desire. I will say it again. Be careful what or who you become when undertaking your desire. In other words, implied in this quotation is that you can become good at the wrong thing, and at the end of the day, you will be living with regrets on your deathbed if you do have the freedom and the liberty and the timely parting of this world in such a manner. A lot of people have become great and excellent at the wrong thing, and they have never discovered their potential, their God-given potential, and they have never bared any fruit, which is a subsequent action of finding and using your potential. And then your potential in the later phases of executing your potential to the maximum in this world is that you've got to wait for the right time when your potential is mature. Sometimes you have mature potential and it's hidden in you like a tree. So I began looking around here and I saw, hey, potential number one, but it's not ripe and it's not green. I mean, it's green, sorry. It's green, it's not ripe. So I would never, as the creator of this tree, who planted it, take care of it, trim it, prune it, reap from it, I would never advise this tree if it was a living, breathing, moving person with fruits hanging from off of it, metaphorically and allegorically speaking. I would never advise a person to tap into those fruits that they're potentially bearing right there, because they are immature, they're not good, they're not ripe for the taking and the sustenance of another human being or any other creature, be it the birds, the bees, okay? So what you have to do now as a tree, you have to look into yourself, and if you look into yourself, you begin to finding right potential that is ready and able. When I look deeper into the heart and the core of this cedar tree, there we go. We have our first fruit that is ripe and ready. Potential is to its maximum, and it could be reaped and harvested and used for endless good for anyone wanting to consume, ingest, and digest that. This is how it runs in the kingdom of God. This is how it runs with you in relation to living in society. You cannot launch out in the wrong place. You cannot just wildly think that something is your potential and so you're going to use that. You have to search yourself in depth. I told people in other videos, take a year to search yourself, but people don't want to pay this price. Well, I went through these prices that I've been paying. I tried many things and I learned the hard way that none of those things, although that I could have taken those things and be successful with them, they didn't come to me naturally, like how the cedar comes naturally to the cedar tree and goes through the entire process and reach its maximum capacity and potential of being mature, and then could be used for the edification and development, even feeding other species, other insects and animal life, and even human beings. So in summarizing this video, you've got to search for your potential. You've got to know what it is. I discovered my potential when I began my healing journey 10 years ago. And so I discovered in the middle of nature something in myself that I began using. I don't need to go downtown Milano to work for no one in an office. I can do it. But I would never do it knowing what I know now after I did the search. This is my job. And in this job, I am the job. Never you make the mistake and think that you always have to look for a job. Now, I'm not telling people you shouldn't work and have a job. I would not insinuate that in the least way, shape, or form. But I'm telling you that the most optimized version of you is when you become the job. You are the job. You are the creator, the producer. You are the one that people are looking for. You are the one that is mature, that is revealing your fruits in the world, that will feed and edify the world. So you never downplay, you never walk away, sidesteps from your potential. Even if you have a job, you should be still doing some introspection privately in quiet, somewhere in a room, if you're in a city, or in nature under a tree, like I have done for countless years, to find your real, true, innate, authentic potential, the thing that comes to you naturally. You didn't go to school for it. It came in you as the bypart and product, the nucleus of you when you were conceived and developed here in this world. This is who God truly created you to be. Now, when I am ending this video, I can't help to mention the evolution of the process of the human potential as a world when we were trying to light up our world. When we were trying to light up our world, first we discovered the flint and the stone, etc. We made the wheel, etc. And we began developing and we began evolving as a human race. But there was a time when we were living in darkness, and people had to use torches for centuries, and then they put up those torches around, like how they used to put up that, or how they put that modern lamp post there. This is the sum total of the evolutionary representation and the point that we have arrived at when it comes to lighting up our world. That's where we are now, but we were not there all the time. And I want to tell you that mankind went through centuries of searching to light up his world physically. This world physically went through decades, centuries, even thousands, millennia of years, trying to light up the world to where we have arrived as modern day littered cities right now. Now, it's so common everywhere that we don't stop to think about the evolutionary process of what human beings went through as a race to light up our world. The potential to light up our world was always there. It was hidden. So the human species, had to collectively search, led through the most advanced empires of the time and the intellectual gifted people of the time, like Edison and before those that were before him, to light up our world. And they went through centuries of failure in the searching and the discovery and the implementation to implement modern day lighting up of the world. It was a gradual process. For example, in the 18th century, there was the whaling industry. People go and read Moby Dick, one of my favorite books. They used to go out there, hunt the whale with harpoons and spears. Many men lost their lives, countless, in that era of the whaling industry. Why was the whaling industry a prevalent existing need and a high demand in those times, 17, 18, even 16th century? Because they used to get the wax from the whale and make candles in the endeavor and the journey to light up the world physically. The people used to light their homes with the wax from the whale with candles. That was the era of the candles. So we went from nothing to the flint, then we went to the candles, the torches, then we went to the candles, okay? And then mankind said, you know what, we must have another potential that we can tap into. And then John D. Rockefeller and all his associates launched out in digging for petroleum, and they discovered oil. And this was then the new epitome in the evolutionary process of lighting up our world physically. We gradually became moving from using the candles, and those became obsolete, and the whaling industry died. And the new era through John D. Rockefeller was the drilling industry for petroleum. That became the top-notch elevationary status that human beings had arrived in the process in searching for the potential, yet the potentiality of lighting up our world. Did you know that gasoline was a byproduct of the drilling process in those times? And gasoline was reduced or categorized as a useless byproduct of the drilling process. The kerosene was the thing, the oil was the thing, and so man did not tap into the use for gasoline. The gasoline was so useless of a byproduct of the drilling process in the undertaking and looking and searching for using the human or putting the human lighting capacity for lighting the world on a top level. The gasoline had no part to play in this. So gasoline was sold for as little as 3 cents a gallon for anyone that saw that they wanted to light something or using gasoline on those mediocre low level usage. Okay, so when we began elevating again, then Thomas Edison came along and looked for start searching and developing 10,000 plus failed experiment and invented the incandescent light bulb, and boom, now we have electricity, and that is where we are for lighting our world, our dark world physically in the night. You see the journey of searching for potential, the journey from where human beings have walked for millennia, living alongside prehistoric animals, being eaten and torn apart in the dark because they could not find a way to light our world. You, my friend, if you don't find your potentiality, you will live in darkness, and dog will eat you for supper. It is very empirical and important. It is crucial that you find your potential, because when you find your potential, you will not work a day in your life, because the work that you do is a contribution to the world that God has called you to do, and it's like child's play to you. You think I'm working here in creating this video and all the videos I've ever created and will continue to create. This is my thing. This is my potential. This is where my power lies. No one does this better than Mervin. I am in my mojo. Okay, and so I had searched for this all my life, and then I stumbled upon it in one of the most unrealized situations, a situation where I thought I would just be doing farming. And one day when God spoke to me, he said, Mervin, in my spiritual journey and development, praying and fasting, etc., and doing Bible study and Bible reading, he said, what's that you got there that you always talking about me? It's the gift of speaking. This is your potential. This is your talent. this is your gift for lighting up the world. And so lighting up the world can come from many perspective angles, okay, and can be interpreted differently to meet different needs, to create solutions for different problems. When a solution is created in a problem or an adversity, it comes as a light, and the person that bring it is the light bearer, aka the messenger. In this case, I am your messenger, and I am telling you that you need to find your potential. You need to search for it, like I showed you about the seeders. You need to know when to use it and not to launch out prematurely when trying to execute and use your potential. And then when you reach and find your potential and it reaches maturity and you want to launch it out to the world, then God will give you the go ahead, and you will know by this time as a mature Christian that you could hear the voice of God telling you to launch out and light up the world and feed his people with the embedded code that he has put in you long before the foundations of the world. Your potential, my friend, is no joke. I gave you some analogies. I gave you the reality. You hear it in my voice. You see me executing it, not just in this video, but in thousands of videos that I've already created, and in thousands more that I'm going to create. How am I able to draw from the well of my potential just like this, without writing a script or without sitting down and scratching my head and trying to plan what I'm going to say? It's because God has called me to do this in a time like this, because this is the time in which I'm living and at this stage of my life. Why? Because I am mature now. I went through the healing process. I was broken. I found healing. I went through a journey. I went through experiences. Okay, I have passed 50 plus years in the world, and trees take time. Remember, back to Jesus. You will know a tree by the fruits that it bears. But a tree, my friend, what it is implied in that passage of scripture right there is that a tree needs to reach maturity in order to bear any fruit before you can begin to talk about the type of fruit that they bear. So you have to grow to a maturity, us being trees, and I have grown to this maturity. And when a tree is growing, it goes through many trials and testing. Like example, this physical tree and all physical trees, they have to stand the vehement weather, the storms, the winter, the snow, etc. All of this, they have to prove themselves to go through these seasons, these catastrophes, if you so call them, and these very vehement times. And then when they come out to the light of the day and the calm of the situation, they can settle down and begin to focus on what they do naturally, and is bearing one type of fruit. That one type of fruit, my friend, you must learn to find your potential to bear this fruit. Okay? A man is not given, or a woman, one specific gift. For example, when you look at David in the Bible, David was a psalmist. That means he was an author. David was a warrior. He killed Goliath the giant and many others. David was a king. That means he was a leader and a ruler. So you have to realize that when God giveth gifts, he giveth liberally. But not because you have many gifts, that means you should use all of them or any one of them at any given time, or the wrong one at the initiation of using your potential. When David started out, he started out with no potential. He was leading sheep, and he was a shepherd boy. It was then and there that God developed David, taught him to kill a lion that tried to kill his sheep, taught him to fight against a bear that tried to kill his sheep, etc., etc. And then he was prepared to fight Goliath the giant. David's fight and progression and evolution in finding his ultimate potential was realized on a progressive and evolutionary basis, and it is the same for every tree physically and every human metaphoric and allegorical tree. My name is Mervin Reyes, and I hope that in this video you know the importance of finding your potential and begin searching deep within yourself today through introspection and reflection, how meditation, how you must be of light to this world and begin to bear good fruits and feed this world as a righteous tree of God. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in another one soon.